Sacred Geometry. Copyright 2024. Study podcast by Study with Artemis, Inc. Created with the assistance of AI technology. Controversy surrounding secret societies and sacred geometry. The association between secret societies and sacred geometry has long been a source of controversy and intrigue. Many believe that these esoteric groups have used the principles of sacred geometry as a means of encoding hidden messages and symbols, allowing them to communicate in a way that is accessible only to the initiated. However, critics argue that this connection is largely exaggerated or even fabricated, driven by conspiracy theories and a desire to ascribe mystical significance to otherwise mundane geometric forms. A major point of contention is the extent to which secret societies have actively incorporated sacred geometry into their rituals, symbols, and architectural designs. While some groups, such as the Freemasons, are known to have incorporated geometric principles into their practices, the degree to which this was a deliberate and meaningful act is often disputed. Skeptics suggest that these connections are retrospective, with modern researchers and enthusiasts projecting their own interpretations onto historical artifacts and practices. Furthermore, the very notion of secret societies has been criticized as a sensationalized and oversimplified concept, with many of the groups in question being far more transparent and benign than popular depictions suggest. The secrecy and exclusivity associated with these organizations is often seen as a natural consequence of their private, members-only nature, rather than a deliberate attempt to conceal nefarious activities or esoteric knowledge. Ultimately, the debate surrounding secret societies and sacred geometry remains a highly contentious and complex issue, with valid arguments on both sides. As with many aspects of the esoteric and occult, the truth is likely to be found in a nuanced understanding of the historical, cultural, and psychological factors at play, rather than in sweeping claims or simplistic narratives. The significance of sacred geometry in ancient civilizations. Sacred geometry has been an integral part of ancient civilizations for millennia, serving as a foundational principle in the design and construction of sacred structures, artworks, and symbols, from the towering pyramids of Egypt to the intricate mandalas of the East. The presence of sacred geometric patterns has been a constant throughout the history of human culture and spirituality. In many ancient societies, sacred geometry was believed to be a physical manifestation of the divine, a bridge between the earthly and the celestial realms. The use of these sacred geometric forms, such as the golden ratio, the flower of life, and the Vesica Piscis, was seen as a means of tapping into the universal laws that govern the natural world and the cosmos. The architects and artists of these ancient civilizations recognized the inherent beauty and symmetry of sacred geometry, and they incorporated these principles into their most revered structures and works of art. The result was a built environment that was not only aesthetically pleasing, but also imbued with a sense of spiritual significance and connection to the divine. Use of sacred geometry in the design of sacred spaces. The intricate patterns and harmonious proportions of sacred geometry have long been incorporated into the design of sacred spaces, from ancient temples to modern-day cathedrals. These geometric principles are believed to evoke a sense of the divine, creating environments that facilitate spiritual contemplation and communion. By incorporating sacred geometric shapes, such as the circle, triangle, and golden ratio, architects and designers have sought to align these sacred structures with the underlying mathematical principles that govern the natural world and the cosmos. The use of sacred geometry in the design of sacred spaces is not merely an aesthetic choice, but a deliberate attempt to imbue these spaces with a sense of the sacred and the transcendent. The repetition of certain geometric forms, like the mandala or the Vesica Piscis, are believed to have a profound effect on the human psyche, triggering deep, subconscious responses that can heighten one's spiritual awareness and connection to the divine. These geometric patterns are often mirrored in the layout of sacred spaces, the placement of altars and shrines, and the arrangement of architectural elements, all with the aim of creating a harmonious and sacred environment. Use of sacred geometry in religious and spiritual practices. The principles of sacred geometry have long been intertwined with various religious and spiritual traditions around the world. From ancient civilizations to modern esoteric practices, the intricate patterns and symbolic meanings of sacred geometry have played a significant role in rituals, meditation, and the design of sacred spaces. These geometric forms, such as the circle, triangle, and the golden ratio, are believed to reflect the underlying structure of the universe and the divine proportions found in nature. Within many religious and spiritual contexts, sacred geometry is seen as a tool for connecting the physical world with the metaphysical or spiritual realm. Practitioners often use sacred geometric shapes and patterns in their meditations, visualizations, and ceremonial practices as a means of aligning themselves with the harmonious energies of the cosmos. The incorporation of these geometric principles into the architecture and ornamentation of temples, churches, and other sacred sites is also a common practice, as they are believed to create a sacred space that facilitates deeper spiritual experiences.